This is everything you need to know about Meta's Andromeda update. I'm going to be covering the differences between the old way, the new way, what you should be doing now, and why Meta actually implemented this. But before I get into any of that, what's important to understand, and I think a lot of marketers overlook this, is when Andromeda actually came out. So a lot of people think Andromeda is this new fucking thing. But if you look at the date that Andromeda actually came out on, it was December 2nd, 2024. This time last year, as of the date of this recording, almost a year. And no one really knew about it until August or September of 2025. The reason I share this is because if you're a marketer, if you're an advertiser, if you run an info product, you want to be staying up to date with anything that is coming out on the platform or software that you use, whether that's Facebook, Google, ClickFunnels, doesn't matter. The place that you find this stuff for Meta specifically is called Meta Engineering. You can just Google it, and what you can do is you can stay up to date with all of the most recent changes that Meta is making. What does this look like in practice? Well, with Andromeda, a little harder to explain, but let's look at it as any Facebook advertiser that's familiar with the Facebook UI. It feels like every single time you log into Facebook, there's a different change being made, whether it's the new AI Advantage Plus targeting, the AI creative stuff, the changes in the UI, there's always something that's being tested. And if you run an agency like me, you see this across a ton of accounts. Every account's going to be a little bit different. That is how Meta approaches rolling out new updates. And it's the same way Andromeda worked. They will find little pockets of people that run ads or use their platform, and they will make those changes for those pockets specifically instead of rolling it out across everybody, right? So in Andromeda's case, they did little test pockets on different ad accounts. And then eventually over time, which seems to be around that July, August timeframe, they finally rolled out Andromeda across all accounts, or at least a large majority of accounts. And so it's important to understand what the differences are between the old way and the new way. Now, the old way of Andromeda was very, very basic, and it worked like this. You click on a shoe ad a few times, Meta's brain goes, okay, this person likes shoes, and then you get more shoe ads. That's it. Super simple, super shallow, like a goldfish memory, right? It was more of this spray and pray approach to advertising. Worked great, but definitely required more user input from the media buyer or the advertiser standpoint. So what is the new way? Now, Meta is actually watching you like a hawk and building an entire psychological profile. It's tracking things like what color catches your eye, what images make you stop scrolling, when you scroll fast versus when you scroll slow, what time of day you buy stuff, whether you prefer videos or pictures, if you respond better to funny content, emotional content, realistic content, where you're shopping from, basically everything you do on the platform. Now, Facebook for a while has had over 52,000 data points on every person. However, with this new Andromeda update, every single data point is weighted a lot more heavily. And I'll tell you a little bit more, or show you a little bit more about what that means when it comes to actually producing ad creatives for your ad accounts. Now, Meta is taking, again, all of these dots and really nailing down what causes you to buy. And it's not these general, like, oh, you're in this industry, so buy this thing, or you'll like this thing. It goes down to the very granular problem, to the point of these problems are so niche that you typically wouldn't run ads for them in the past. And again, I'll show you what that means in a second. Now, why did Meta actually do this? Why did they make that change? And again, this is my assumption. I don't have any concrete evidence to this, but in general, this is why I think they made that choice. Problem one, too many ads. So I feel like there's a dozen new advertisers, hundreds of new advertisers entering the space every day. And with all of the AI creation tools out there now, AI slop is just flooding the platforms. And so Meta wanted to cut down on this because the old system couldn't handle it, right? It was basically throwing everything it could at you and seeing what stuck. Instead, the ads needed to be more personalized. And so Meta really leaned into their targeting ability on the creative side. People were getting tired of irrelevant ads, and advertisers wanted better results. Remember, the big thing to note with Facebook is every time they make an update, the goal is to get it to perform for you. They do not, when people blame the ad platforms, it's the dumbest take in the world. Because why in the world would Mark Zuckerberg not want to take your money? Point blank. Why would he not want to take your money? Mark always wants your money. And so every update that he's going to make is going to help you get better results. Because if you get bad results, you get off the platform, you don't make money. And he doesn't make money. And so, again, this update comes about because the ads needed to be personalized so people could get better results. Now, the big thing to note with all of this when it comes to getting results is everything needs to be your fault. If you ever blame the platform, you will not be a successful advertiser. Point blank. Everything is your fault. You need to understand this. Understand that, especially when going into actually taking advantage of Andromeda and what this means for you. So, number one thing that this means for you as an advertiser, as a marketer, as an info product owner, whatever it is, you need way more creative variation. And this can be done in two ways. You have path one, which is your traditional path. This is where you're cutting and swapping hooks, bodies, and CTAs. The only difference is you need way more variation. So whereas in the past, maybe you filmed 8 hooks, 3 bodies, 2 CTAs, you swapped them to get like 30 to 40 ads. That was great. Now you need to be pushing upwards of 50 to 60 ads if you're going to do this strategy. The other way that you can approach ad creation is going to be more of a tailored and personalized approach. This is where you produce 25 to 30 ads, and they are every single one is unique. From start to finish, from hook to CTA, it is a different ad. Those are the two paths. The other key here is you have to go, and I'll skip down to step number 3, you have to go all in on whatever it is. So if you're going to do the higher volume where you're just swapping hooks, bodies, and CTAs, go all in on the strategy. If you're going to do the more personalized approach, go all in on the strategy. It is really, really important that you do that. Now, the other thing, what we're typically seeing is when you launch an ad set, typically you'll want to put, again, if you're doing path 1 where you do a bunch of volume, you'll put 50 in an ad set. If you're doing path 2 where they're more personalized, you'll do between 15 and 30 for an ad set. You want to leave creatives on if they're not spending a lot of money. Now, if they spend too much and your cost per result is like 3x what it normally would be, we kill it every time and we let the campaign stabilize. But you should have like a dozen to sometimes, in some cases, 20 ads per ad set that are spending a very small fraction of your ad dollars. Why? This is what acts as retargeting. And this brings me to my second point. Targeting with Andromeda's update does not matter as much, doesn't matter nearly as much. This update has caused the ad platforms to bias heavily towards the creative in terms of targeting. As an advertiser, what we typically do on client accounts when we take on new clients is we'll immediately start with a hook that calls out their direct CTA or their direct avatar. For example, if you are XYZ avatar in ABC current situation and you have XYZ financial qualifier, capital to deploy, capital to invest, whatever it might be, and then we'll roll into the ad. This allows us as advertisers to control the targeting. And if you're looking for help on the ad side, whether done for you or just consulting, you can book a call below, learn a little bit more about how we can help, typically in the info product space or high ticket products and services. But again, the key here is your creatives dictate the targeting a lot more. It's extremely important that you understand this as you go to scale. Retargeting is a waste of your money. Now, at small spend, it could bias a platform in your favor, but anybody that tells you that running profile ads, retargeting ads are going to make you the biggest ROI in the world, yeah, sure, for a short period of time, and then that audience is going to fizzle out. The way that Andromeda works is they're going to go after your warm audience to begin with. Simple as that. And so again, you need that creative variation. The targeting is all done in the creatives, and you have to go all in on one of the two paths. The big thing that I mentioned earlier in this video that I really want to emphasize here is if you cannot get your ad accounts to perform with this new update, there is a very good chance that it's your fault. Point blank. Very good chance that it's your fault. In fact, it 9 times out of 10 is your fault. Occasionally, we've had ad accounts blow up, so I don't want to get rid of that completely. But 9 times out of 10, if not 99.99% of the time, if you cannot run successful ads or profitable ads with this new update, it is your fault. So you need to go back and figure it out. This means you can't be lazy. This means if you pump out 30 ads and they don't work, go pump out another 30. Don't wait. Don't wait 2 weeks. Don't turn it off. Go pump out more ads and then launch the new ad set, right? Creatives is the secret. Having a good media buyer helps, but realistically, with this new update, the value of a media buyer is going down drastically. The value of a creative specialist or creative production, whatever you want to call it, goes up a ton. And so this is, again, the fundamentals of Andromeda. I hope this helped you guys in some way. What I recommend everybody do is stay up to date with those meta engineering articles. They will help you see stuff before it shows up so that you can prepare accounts, you can know when it's coming, and when you see those changes occur, you can know, okay, this is probably because of XYZ, in this case, Andromeda. So I hope this helps you guys get a better understanding as to the basics of Meta's Andromeda update. If you want more info like this, you want to learn more about how to run ads for high ticket info products, high ticket products or services, or just in general, the fundamentals about Facebook advertising, go ahead and subscribe to the page below, like and comment what you'd like to see in the next video. I want to make sure this channel is as tailored to you as possible, and I will see you in the next one.